Welcome back. Because of the most recent patch, I had to learn how to use the Baldur's Gate 3 script extender console command features. I'll be covering what command I need to use when we get to that point, but for right now, since I had to do a lot of exploration into the modding scene, I thought I would apply several quality of life mods. Here's what we've got so far. Avok's better character and party panels. Avok wanted the character sheet to be able to fit in the interface, so this is what he came up with. If we take a look at these other interactive skills and what is this, detailed view, you notice that scrolling is less necessary. In the default order, we would need to scroll up and down to see what my persuasion might be. For detailed view, if I wanted to look at approval, I would need to scroll down quite a bit. The only complaint I have about this one is that the image is blurry now. I will show a side-by-side comparison of before and after. Avok's better combat log 2. This has a few features. First, note that these features can be optional. Avok has many different downloads. You just need to look for the ones with all of the properties you're looking for. He has ones with darker backgrounds. He has ones that are auto hide and ones with different font scaling. I'm using currently a smaller font size with auto hide. One issue with auto hide is I'm still dragging right now, and if I were to let go, you can see that the window has transferred over with me. So the window does not stay appeared if you're still holding down onto it. It only reappears if you are waving your mouse cursor over it. The biggest issue I have with this is it doesn't actually give you text in real time. So if I unhide, it doesn't tell me anything unless I were to hover over the text box. That being said, yes, you can get the non-auto hide version. However, I do want to see what the most recent messages are. I just want to see all of this other stuff after the fact. Just the most recent message, please. To that effect, I'll be using Aether Point's combat log, and I'll show you what that one's like. Aether Point's contextual combat log button. The combat log window here, you can't drag it, but I'm not really concerned about the dragging part, because you wouldn't be able to put it down here without it really interfering with the action bar. However, if I crouch, you'll see that it does immediately tell me that Tran used hide. I don't really need to know that Tran hid, but it would be nice to see that things are happening around me. That's the point of the message box. Let's say that there was an NPC that was attacking another NPC down here. It would tell me if my character was in range of normal message log recipiency, if that's even a word. Avok's better containers. The default or vanilla version of the game's containers is 3x5. When you open it, you basically always have to resize it if you're attempting to manage your inventory. The Avok variant comes in several different flavors, such as 6x7, 5x5. The version I'm using is 8x9. The sorting options is for whatever reason hidden at first in the vanilla version. In Avok's mod, it's just there. There's pretty much no benefit in hiding the sorting button considering it doesn't actually provide any real estate. It doesn't give you an extra row or anything. It's meaningless except that it makes you, the player, have to click more times. Another thing that you can use is it tells you the container's name, weight, and value in gold. Avok's better and faster context menus. I'll be pairing these two together. You can see that in our context menus, there's little icons there just to give you a bit more visual indicator of what's going on. So if I right click, say this amulet, we can see a special icon for everything. Now, of course, there's going to be repetition, such as these little dots here, and that's fine, but in normal vanilla mode, you don't have anything whatsoever. Avok's better Hotbar 2. There are absolutely a ton of variations of this. First, you pick the aspect ratio of your monitor, 16:9 or 16:10, or even ultra wide. And then you decide how many slots you want. The more slots you have, the smaller the icons will be. So you could start with something like 4 rows high and 24 columns across, and they'll be at 100% icon size. Or 5x32 and have 75% icon size. Additionally, this also shrinks down the turn order panel so that it doesn't overlap with the default location of a combat log. Now, I do have one issue with this, and that is if you are, let's go ahead and end this. Okay, so remember that I'm using the auto hide part, and I imagine that I won't have to worry about this if I didn't have auto hide. I just like being able to see the whole screen because I think it makes for better recording. However, if I am moving things down here, it flickers in and out of existence. See that? Let me keep the mouse cursor over it. See how it's just flickering? And of course, one of the things I was hoping to eventually find is that if you open up one of these windows, such as your inventory window or your skill window, you can't even cast from this. yes, you can change your stuff, but you can't even cast from this. That's not what I was expecting from a mod, but I would hope that if you were to open your inventory or your spellbook, that it would automatically pop this up. But right now it's relegated to only appear if you're in turn-based mode or your mouse cursor is down here. But the fact it fades in and out, I don't like. I don't remember the Aether Point mod doing that, and we'll take a look at that next. Aether's Contextual Action Bar. If we are dragging it around, it does flicker, but only because it doesn't recognize that the hotbar should be engaged. If there were a time delay, it might actually have the traits I'm looking for. The moment you lift it off the bar, it's gone. That's why when you start dragging, it does disappear. Advocates better maps all in one. As with all of the other mods we discussed, there's many variations. The minimap itself is also draggable, though it is very slow. That might be a relation to it being 70%. I will go and deliberately download the 100% and test that out next. And of course, like all the other UI stuff, I've gone for the optional auto-hiding feature. I do like how the pips have changed to indicate which way someone is facing. I wish he had removed these pins, which are a vanilla part of the game, to show a companion is further away, because it takes up valuable real estate. What you're looking at now is another optional map mod, meaning that it is separate and distinct from the minimap icon we were talking about earlier. You can see all of the other underground locations in this one map. This is not necessarily meant to be a map hack. It's just supposed to be another way to show faded out areas. Let's scroll in real close down here. Because this is a mountainside, I haven't actually been able to walk there. So the way it would normally appear in the game is this giant black opaque area, which makes sense. However, if you were to get out of the minimap, you can see that we can actually see for quite some distance. And if we were actually over there, we would actually be able to see this cliffside. I like this part, being able to see the area I'm currently in and have an idea of extra scouting range, if you would. It isn't my intention to cheese the game or anything like that. I just want to have a better idea of the world I'm in. What I don't want to see is this stuff here. It bears no relevance to the character. It's not like I'm ever going to warp from here to here using this spatial awareness. Unless I guess I was a speedrunner, literally jumping through the walls. Havoca's better target info. At the top of the screen, as I'm hovering over the backpack, it tells me how many items are in the backpack, as well as how much value is in there. It's not realistic, it's just a player quality of life convenience thing. When hovering over another character, you can see the character's race and level. These are what would be considered normal features of this mod. It also has a light version of the mod, which shows you the resistances and vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities are listed in red. Physical resistances are listed in white, and magical resistances are listed in blue. The full version of the mod also includes the damage preview, so if I were to attempt to attack this Sovereign Glut, I would do 1 to 15 damage. Havoca's Dynamic Sidebar. The default version only shows 6 characters. Since I'm playing with a party limit remover, this allows the portraits to shrink as I add more characters. And as with everything that normally is displayed on the regular play screen, I'm running the optional auto-hide feature on top of that. Advocate's Faster Dice menu. This minimizes the animation, but you still need to click to skip everything, and should be about 4 seconds faster. Let's go and try this out and see. So I'll be clicking like a madman here. Click, click. Oh wow, that is so much better.
I suppose there is a reason I'm asking you to do it.
Advocate's slightly better split item menu. The default splitting menu has a bit of a delay when you're trying to work with it. This one makes the typable text more clear to activate, as well as having minimum and maximum amount of splits as a single button press. But the biggest thing is faster, efficient gameplay. Advocate's slightly better Topbar. This adds several quality of life improvements to the initiative tracker at the top of the screen. First, it moves everything a little bit closer to the edge. Then, after that literal uplift, it stretches things out to the left and right without overlapping the Illiquid Powers button. Perhaps most importantly, it gives you actual text to indicate how many hit points each person has, and then it goes ahead and tosses an armor class for good measure. Finally, it moves the concentration status to the upper left to fit all of these new things.
Have you made any new
Advocate's slightly better trade menu. This trade mod removes the things such as the paper doll of characters and gives you more inventory space to work with. It's a lot of boxes at once, so it can look a little intimidating. I don't know if it's adding bonuses that I didn't have before, or it's always been calculated and I just never sat down and tried to figure out the math behind it. But it does tell me that I'm getting a +6 bonus from Persuasion, and I have a total discount of 58%. I don't know if that's the same without the mod. We'll take a look at its regular performance afterwards. This book will be, well, actually, let's pick something more expensive. We'll go and give him these 80 potions and see what he would charge us to take them back. 1520. We'll check out the vanilla version and see what that's like. The biggest part of this is that I can now buy things in bulk, but only in the barter screen. So you notice I was able to shift click all of these, or I can control click certain things, such as these books. However, in the trade screen, it is not a feature available. I'm not sure why. I would prefer it because I try to do my business in this menu, but that's fine. This is still a definite improvement when I want to just buy him out of his things and then pickpocket my gold back. Without the trade UI mod, let's try giving him all of these potions. And it is still 1520. The trade UI mod did not actually add any sort of new modifier. It just displayed the existing persuasion modifier. Right now he's a level 1 paladin because I'm currently in the middle of reclassing our characters. Your likes and support encourage me to continue making videos. If you want to see more, a thumbs up would be amazing. I'll see you next time.